Previously, I showed you how to hack into your car's CAN bus, any CAN bus, using the weekend device. In that video, I specifically show how to do it in the Hyundai Ioniq 5B CAN bus. B stands for body. This bus monitors the car's door status, such as locked, unlocked, closed or open, and lots of other stuff. Next to that video, I showed you how to make your own CAN bus sniffer. If you don't want to spend the $50 for the weekend, then you can make one yourself for about $15. Just a real quick recap, we used SavvyCAN to look at the CAN messages. It was a lot to analyze in real time. Save the log file as a CSV file. I use Excel to open the CSV file, but you can use Notepad too. Personally, I like Excel because I can always view and manipulate data easily. On the left-hand side at column A is the timestamp. It is not real timestamp. For instance, right now the time is 3 p.m., but it wouldn't show something like 3 p.m. It would show something like this. And the numbers keep on increasing, by the way, followed by the ID. Each module, each equipment, each component in a modern car has its own ID. Here's the length of the message and the messages. To know whether the car is open or not, we looked at the ID 411. Whether it's open or closed, bit number 5 reports 2 possible values, open or close. If you want more details on how I deciphered which doors, please refer to this previous video. Also, this website is pretty good for beginners. It explains what a CAN bus is and how it operates. Here are all of the IDs I was able to identify and which bits it was on for close, open, as well as locked and unlocked. We need to translate this into something that ESPHome can understand, because after all, I want my car to be on the smart home network, a smart home hub like Home Assistant. Here's the ESPHome code. Don't worry about pausing the video. I'll share all of the codes in the video description for you to just download it, then edit it to work with your car and home network. Lines 1 through 31 is pretty much standard. You can find what they are in this previous video. The interesting code starts at line 33 with CAN bus. We're using an ESP32 chip. The TX and RX pin is on GPIO 17 and 16. CAN ID for my Ioniq 5 showing the door closed or open. Status is on 411. The bit rate of the CAN bus is at 500 kilobits per second. For sure, your CAN ID might not be 411 if you're not driving a Hyundai or a Kia. This part I don't know because I have not tried to tap into any other car except my Hyundai Ioniq 5. Looking at the ID 411. The front passenger door opens when D5 is equal to 14. If it changes to number 10, then we know that the door is closed. Even though it's on D5 as seen in the Excel sheet, the value has to go down by 1, which is 4, because in the car it starts with 0 through 7. Meanwhile, in our Excel sheet, it starts from D1 through D8. Just step down one number and you'll be fine. We're going to continue with all of the other doors. Here's the driver door. This is the variable that we're going to publish the state from ESPHome to Home Assistant to know whether the door is opened or not. Let's jump down briefly to line 156. Here we're seeing it as a binary sensor whether the door is opened or not. On or off, basically. For the driver door, you'll see that it's happening on D4 bit, with the values of interest being 51 and 50. Door lock status is on a different ID. That's why we have to define it here as 414. D5 bit value is 28 or 8, locked or unlocked. When I asked ChatGPT for the pattern to recognize which CAN ID was for the lock status, it was confused with 392. That's because 392 is actually the light inside the car. Just for fun, we're going to keep track of 392 as well. If you are inside the car, pressing on the lock button will light up a small light indicator. After 1 minute, this LED light will be off. Poor ChatGPT thought 392 was the car's lock status. But as I found out, after 1 minute, it would change to be unlocked, or in this case, LED light turned off. Eventually, I ran a different type of lock and unlock pattern, saved the log file, gave it to the AI, and easily identified bit 414 is actually the ID to track door lock status, meaning that after 1 minute, or 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, this value will not change from locked to unlocked because the car is still locked. All right, we've defined all of the IDs that we need to monitor and their values of interest. Down here is the script to lock the car or unlocked. I'm going to cover how I was able to find the command to send to the car to lock when car is unlocked in another video. For now, we're going to focus on the binary sensor, and here you can see what it looks like. Binary sensors will let you know whether the car is closed or open. And down in this line, whether the car is locked or unlocked. On top, you got the buttons to lock and unlock the car. This unlock button does not work at this time, just because when I press on it, it will send the command to unlock the car. But 1 split second later, car automatically locks up again. It's really weird why it does that. If you do know why, please let me know in the comment section below. Right now, the car is sitting in the driveway and all the doors are closed and it is locked. The LED light that I mentioned earlier is not because it's past the 1 minute mark. I still haven't found what ID is for the trunk door. Since I cannot open the trunk door as fast as I want it to, that will consume a lot of time, and most likely I won't investigate which. Just because if the trunk is open, then I can definitely see it easily, whereas the car's doors, if one of them is not closed, then it's not really easy to see. Especially when I'm in a hurry with the kids, then I probably won't notice it. But now I'll definitely know because I'll get an alert to my phone. Later on, I will create automations. For instance, if any of the doors are open or closed at midnight when I'm sleeping, then I'll get an alert on the phone and the whole house's siren will go off. I plan to implement some automations that will be fully automated without any dependency on the Home Assistant hub. For instance, if the doors are closed but not locked, then the chip will auto-lock the doors within 5 minutes. Yes, I know that's very similar to the auto-lock by this company online. And it's pretty amazing that you can create something exactly the same for under $15. Another automation would be, if doors are not closed and nobody is nearby, then turn on the horn to alert me. A lot of things are now possible since we can tap into the car's CAN bus. By the way, if this video is helpful, please consider subscribing and liking the video. This lets YouTube know my video is indeed helpful and will recommend to others like yourself. Let's do a quick demo. Here we can see the sensors are showing all of the doors are closed and all the doors are indeed closed. The lock status is opened, or in this case unlocked. When I open the passenger side door, it updates to passenger door opened. Open, all of the other doors are still closed. Let's close the door, and it is updated to close. The trunk status is not working at this time as mentioned earlier. If you know which ID it is, please let everyone know in the comment section below. The lock status is unlocked, and luckily we have the commands up here, the controls, to lock the car. So let's press on the lock. There we go. I don't know if you can see the amber light showing that it is in a locked position right there. Of course, in here, it's also showing lock status as closed, which is locked. It's interesting to note that unlocked car semi-works. When I unlock the car, this will show up as open and then immediately closes. I can see it on my lights here as well, that it updates briefly for less than a second. I have no idea why it's doing that, even though the command to unlock is correct. I wonder if there are two commands being sent to unlock the doors. Once we figure out what the unlock command is and what all the other commands are, it is certainly possible to control this car using the phone over Wi-Fi or 4G. There is absolutely no need to pay Hyundai the $300 annual fee for BlueLink. If you've ever used BlueLink, then you also know how limited it is. Alright, hopefully you found this video helpful. I really appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel, liking this video, and thanks for watching.